Distressing can give your projects dimension and texture. They can also give them a very cool, shabby chic look, like this layout right here. You can see some sanding there and some ink edging there. Or like this card, where I did some crinkling. There are many different distressing techniques, but I'm going to focus on my 5 favorites. These are the ones that I feel will give you the most bang for your buck. They're very simple and they make a very dramatic look. There are 2 ways that you can do ink edging. The first involves ink and a sponge dauber like this one. You simply dip the sponge dauber in your ink and flick the edges. The more you dip, or the darker your ink, the more you'll see it. So you have a lot of nice control over how this looks. The second way is directly applying the ink from the ink pad. Just flick it along the edges here, and you can see it's a very dark, defined look. You can take it even further by flicking even inward into the edge, and that creates an even more dramatic look. Sanding requires that you have paper that has a white core. And what I mean by this is you'll see the paper is colored, but if you look on the edge, you'll notice it's actually white on the inside. And to sand, all you need is a sanding block or a piece of sanding paper, and you just rub along the edge. And you see when you do that, the nice white core shows. Another way you can do sanding is by doing it on the inside of your piece of paper. Here I've created a lighter area that adds some texture and dimension, or if I want to keep going, I can make it really light and make it a great place for stamping a sentiment or a picture. The only thing you need for an edge distresser is an actual edge distresser. This is close to my heart, and you can see there's little kind of sharp razors in there that you can use to give your edge a frayed look. The type of paper you use doesn't matter, you're just going for that frayed look, so whether it has a white core or not is fine. And all you do is simply run the sharp edge along the paper. And you can see as I do this, it gives it that nice, cool, frayed look along the edge. You can go up and down, either way, it doesn't matter. You can do it as much or as little as you want to give it as much texture as you'd like. Paper crumpling is really easy, but there is one step you want to make sure you remember to do. Spray your paper with water before you crumble it. You'll find this makes it a lot easier. You can see how nice and smooth and soft that was for me to do. Then once you crumble it, you can undo that, smooth it out, and now you have a nice crumpled surface to add texture to your project. There are 2 different ways to do splattering on your projects. The first involves a spray pen and re-inker. I use about 9 drops of re-inker and then fill my spray pen either halfway or 3/4 of the way full with water, depending on how light or dark I want it to be. And then all you do is simply spritz. The closer you are, the bigger the splatter. The further away, the more misty it looks. Just keep in mind that this can be a little messy, so you either want to do this on a surface that you don't mind getting splatter on, or have something in the back, like say a box, that can catch the splatter. The other way of doing this is actually with watercolors, and you'll of course need your brush and your watercolors. And there's 2 ways of doing this. First, make sure to get your ink nice and wet, and then you can lightly tap it, and that creates a nice, neat splatter. Or if you want to go a little crazier, and this definitely requires some sort of backdrop to catch the splatter, you can actually flick it like this. You can see I'm getting this all over the place, but it creates kind of really cool big splotches, and I like that. But like I said, make sure you have a surface to catch it on. So those are the two different ways that you can add splatter to your projects.